Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the background, I'm no longer in Lubbock, Texas in my apartment. I'm back at home, and being at home, I've been going through all of my stuff because I have too much stuff and I need to get rid of / give away a lot of stuff. So I've just been like purging my closets, all of my belongings, and I came across my memorabilia box, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically a box that I keep of things that hold sentimental value to me for some reason. And recently I went through it and I realized some of this stuff, I mean, it was important at the time, but at the same time, why did I put it in the box? I have no idea. So today I'm going to be revisiting my childhood / young adult, I mean, I'm still a young adult, but early young adult stage in my life, and showing you guys what I found in my memorabilia box. There's a lot of stuff, it's kind of all over the place. So if you're interested to see what my childhood looks like in retrospect, keep watching. Also throughout this video, it looks like my fingernails are dirty. I promise you they're not. This hair was dyed jet black when I made the unit, and today I co-washed the unit. So that's why there's jet black dye on my hands, or my fingernails rather, making it look like I have dirt in my fingernails. I promise you I don't. They're just stained. But it's fine, we can just ignore that. We can move on, it's fine. Okay, so the first thing I found was this stuffed animal. This is the stuffed animal that I've had the longest, although not my favorite stuffed animal, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But this was my first friend, as his little overall say. This is Hippie. Hippie was a G, slept with me every single night from the time that I was a baby. This is, according to my mom, the first stuffed animal that I ever had as a child, so of course I've kept it. He does have a rattle, which I remember as a kid was the reason why he wasn't my like absolute favorite, is because the rattle kind of annoyed me, and my favorite stuffed animal didn't have a rattle, and so I felt it was more appropriate to take that stuffed animal everywhere because it didn't make noise. I remember that being a thing. But yeah, this is Hippie. Oh my gosh. My favorite stuffed animal of all time was named Milkshake. Milky for short. Even though I know it has a connotation to weed now, that was not intentional. But anyway, this is me with my stuffed animal Milky. As you can see, I was such a loving mother. Yeah, Milky was my favorite stuffed animal, and I left him in a hotel room when I was 11. I don't want to talk about it. I really don't, but that's what happened, and that's why I put this picture in my memorabilia. The second thing that I found in my memorabilia that I just want to bring up because memes, but also hilarious, is my Girl Scout patches. I was a Girl Scout. Me and my sister were in the same troop. The reason why these badges are not sewn onto a vest or a sash, depending on what kind of Girl Scout you were, I was a sash girl. You know, I think the real baddies had sashes, but that's a conversation for another day. The reason why these aren't sewn onto my sash is because after I earned these Girl Scout badges, my Girl Scout troop had a split. Essentially, there was just like tea between two of the moms that were leading the group. One of them wanted it to be more of a fun thing. The other one wanted it to be something that was like serious and something that like people could work really hard for and potentially make it a resume booster. And other people in the troop just wanted to have fun. So because of that, the troop just dissolved. A Girl Scout troop dissolved because of gossip and drama. It's just kind of wild. I didn't join the troop that was like more serious because that just wasn't my vibe. But yeah, I have kept these ever since. And it's just a reminder that like, wow, that actually happened to a Girl Scout troop. Sorry if like the angle changed, I had to move further. If that was alarming, I'm sorry. The next thing that I want to show y'all from my memorabilia box is the journal that I had when I was in 4th or 5th grade. So basically when my Girl Scout troop was in dissolution. I've always been really fascinated with words and just in the ability to create stories and just, I don't know, points of views, arguments, whatever. I've always loved words. So for a long time I told myself that I was going to be an author, and that's just not the move. But all of that to say that I do have journal entries of stories that I wrote at like 9-10 years old. Anyway, I titled it Questions with 3 question marks, Chapter 1, Natalie's Rules. I loved building characters and like creating names and everything like that. So the character in this story was Natalie. Natalie's rules: stay out of room. To mom. I don't like hammers. To dad. I think that was an insinuation that, one, obviously I wanted to be left alone by my mom, but also I think the hammers was like an insinuation that I didn't want to do physical manual labor, which, I mean, the energy is pretty consistent with how I feel today. And then the third rule is eat ice cream. To Natalie. I had just finished writing these wonderful rules when my mom started nagging at me to come downstairs for breakfast. Come on, you're gonna be late for school. I put to school, but it should be for school. Anyway, said my annoying mom. Sometimes I wish I had a brother or sister so my mom would have someone else to nag on. Good, I said. That means you can leave me in my room to sleep. No, that means you can get your BUTTOUTOFBED. And like, I actually wrote that. Like, I actually spelled that out. I don't know why. That was like an artistic choice I was fond of at this time, and I really don't know why. Anyway, continuing. Fine, I said. So I got out of bed, put on my uniform, brushed my hair, pulled it back, and headed to what I thought was downstairs, but ended up being the basement. How do you figure that, Sarah? Just thinking about a house and a basement, you would definitely have to pass the main level to get to a basement. But anyway, this made sense to me at 9 years old. Also, I lived in Florida at this time and we didn't have basements, so hence my lack of understanding. Anyway, so I trudged back upstairs to my mom, observing my outfit. In my house, there's only one parent who leaves at 9 a.m., and that one person just had to be my mom, who acts like I'm the suspect she's observing in a crime case. That simile? Wow. Earth-shattering. And then the next paragraph, there is like a paragraph here. It's kind of cringy and not my best work, so I'm just not gonna read it. Speaking of cringy and stuff that I'm not gonna read, these are all of the journal, well, not journal entries, but all of my diary writings, I guess. This is basically what my diary was when I was 14 or 15. But this video is actually gonna be me reading this stuff that I wrote down. Really, it's not a journal. What it was is my dad was a pastor, and so for years and years, I had to go to Sunday school every single Sunday because when you're the pastor's kid, you don't have an option. So in Sunday school, I got to a point where it was just like, I want to rebel and I can. So I did. And what I did is I took like bulletin inserts and wrote on them during Sunday school and just created like journals and basically just like condensed the week that I had had previously at school in preparation for the next week. Yeah, that's what this video was gonna be. I was gonna go through and read this to y'all, but this is just so incredibly cringy, like worse than the journal entry that I just made, because that was like kind of a story that I made. This is stuff that I actually cared about and felt was like necessary to write down, and it's just so incredibly cringy. So incredibly cringy. Anybody that knows me from that period of time in my life would know why it's cringy, and if you don't, then I'm sorry, but happy that you don't remember. Yeah, I would have to be heavily inebriated in order to read this. And maybe one day I will be, but no, that's gotta be something for another day. Now we're moving on into my memorabilia from my high school years. I got I don't even know what these are called. I did not play sports. Varsity letters, but they're not varsity letters because they're for academia, so I don't know what you would call that, but academia letters. But I got this and I was saving up to put it on like a jacket, but then my high school got shut down and it was literally pointless to put this on the jacket of another school with completely different colors, so now I just have this. But I was smart at one point in time, so that's worth remembering. The last thing that I have to talk about from my high school years is my high school diploma. I did not work that hard for this, but what I did work hard for that almost literally nobody knows about is my seal of literacy. I worked from the time that I was in 6th grade to 12th grade, so like 5-6 years. I took Spanish classes because I wanted my seal of biliteracy. It was advertised by like the Spanish program and the foreign language program at my middle school and my high school. And so I knew that obtaining my seal of biliteracy would just solidify my importance in the world and make me feel like I had accomplished something great. And although I do love Spanish and my ability to use the language, this is essentially pointless. So yeah, I mean, nobody would know about it if I wasn't showing it on the internet right now. So that's why I'm showing it on the internet right now, to prove that it exists and that I didn't just spend 6 years working for a sticker on my high school diploma that nobody sees. Moving on to another part of my life that was happening while I was still in high school, and that is my tenure at Home Goods. Oh my gosh. It wasn't really a tenure, but the amount of heinous interactions that I dealt with there qualifies it as being a tenure. These are some of the first checks that I got at Home Goods. It's not like my first check, it's definitely like there's a stapled, compiled, I don't know. There are several checks here. It's not my first check, but by the time I realized like, oh, I might want to save the first paycheck I ever got, I'd already lost it. So I guess this suffices, but yeah. My first paychecks from the good old Hell Goods. Yes, Hell Goods. I also still have my red apron. And as you can see, one of the pins that I did get was Associate of the Quarter. Your bitch was Associate of the Quarter. Ew. And I actually do have a plaque well, not a plaque, it's a piece of paper, but a piece of paper to prove it. Yeah, kind of pointless and meaningless, but they did give me a $100 gift card that I could only spend at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods, but hey, it bought my towels freshman year, so I'm not mad. And the next thing I have to show is the acceptance letter that I got from the university that I currently attend and want to drop out of. This is from Tech. They were telling me that I got accepted into the university. The only reason I'm showing this is because I received this after they sent me an email that I was accepted. I just thought it was funny. Like, it literally came a week, 2 weeks after I already knew that I was accepted. So it was like, oh my gosh, I got the big envelope. But I already knew that I was accepted. I'm happy that they let me in, but at the same time, I want to leave now. It's not the vibe. It's just not. And the last piece of memorabilia that I have to show you is something that I legit hold near and dear to my heart. And it is, as cringy as this might be to some people, my 4-day pass from Lala 2018. 2018 specifically. 2019, I will one day tell that story when I'm no longer living in my mom's house. But that was legit a traumatic experience. I was a missing person for 6 hours. I went to Lala jail, aka the med tent. But that's a story for a completely different day. I keep the pass that I had for Lala 2018 because that was, one, my first Lollapalooza experience. And it was just amazing. The headliners were so good. The people I went with were amazing. And it was just a really, really good experience. I never want to forget it. And so I kept my wristband. All right, and that's all I have for you guys today. I just want to thank you for revisiting some of these traumatic and enlightening and, you know, feel-good moments that I had throughout my childhood / young adult, teenage life. Anyway, all of that to say, I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!